welcome back to Walk, Run, Soar. It is Friday, day 27. We're doing number 35 in the book. Today's a two-parter day. This is part one. This one is called Under His Wings. Our verse is Psalm 91, verse 4. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. The topic in this one, it's a simple one and a short one, but it's really good actually, and I can relate because I love birds. But the author talks about how one of the things she likes to do while she runs is look for birds, and I do the same thing. I love looking at wildlife. I'm fortunate to live where there's quite a bit. And she shares how, I'm assuming the extremely low point was, it kind of sounds like maybe it was after her first husband had passed away, but a group of her friends came and redecorated their bedroom. And, I'm sure that's, it kind of was feeling kind of down for her, that particular room. So they came and redecorated it, added new art, new light fixtures, rearranged the room, all kinds of things like that. And one of her friends had sewn a pillow with that verse that I read at the beginning, and some birds on it. And it reminded her how the Bible uses several types of images, including birds, to express the ultimate sense of security we find in a relationship with God. And in that particular verse, 91 verse 4, it's a baby bird covered by its mother's feathers. And I think most people know, feathers, they're really good insulation against the cold. And on some birds, they're coated with oil, which create a waterproofing effect to protect birds from rain and snow. As the verse says, we can find refuge under his wings. And there's other stories where they talk about birds' feathers and wings too. In Ruth, Boaz tells the young Moabite widow Ruth that he hopes that God will take her under his wings and give her refuge. And David also writes in another psalm, keep me as the apple of your eye, hide me in the shadow of your wings. You hear that a lot in songs, different songs that you would sing. These verses emphasize God's character as protector, comforter, shelter, and strength. And he really does do all of that for sure. I think it's easy for us to, I think a lot of these come down to where you're putting your focus. And I'm terrible at this. When I'm choosing to focus on the really hard things or focus on those aspects of God's character. Because I feel like, if I were to focus more on that he's my comforter, yeah, I might be sad or be grieving about certain things, but I'll recognize that feeling of him comforting me type deal. She also shares how running had become grief therapy after her first husband had passed away. And I like this. A lot of my running buddies are like this. We use this as our time to connect with him. And, even though it may not be like verbally praying, but use that time as a time of prayer just to unload basically on God and tell him what's on your heart. And she says, he covers my broken heart with his feathers and provides a safe shelter to share my feelings, emotions, and my fears. And he's been a refuge like he was for David, Ruth, and countless others in the Bible. This last little bit that she put on this one, I was going to read the whole thing because I thought it was really, really good. She says, the other day I saw a photograph of a mother bird with wings extended like arms around her two little birdlings on either side. At a quick glance, the babies looked like they were a part of Mama's body because they were enveloped in her feathers. This picture is a perfect visual of what God does for us. It's absolutely true. The faith step, how has God been a refuge and shelter for you? Can you think of any examples of times when you felt his comfort? I know that, I can't remember if I mentioned it in a devotion video during that time when I was out in Washington, helping with the memorial service for my mother-in-law. I can't remember if I mentioned in devotion, but I'm gonna mention it now. To see the people that she touched was amazing. And I feel like that it was a sad time, not really sad for her, but sad for the family left behind. Because we know where she is, and she's, whole and, with our God. But that whole experience, I think, brought all of the family and friends closer together. And that, I think, is also a sense of God's comfort, to know that you have all those people around you. Our inspirational quote is from Priscilla Welch, former British women's marathon record holder. If you want to become the best runner you can be, start now. Don't spend the rest of your life wondering if you can do it. That quote made me think of I don't know how recent it is, but it's fairly new. The Matthew West song, What If? It's a fun song. All of his songs are super fun. Especially when you hear the stories of how he writes the songs. But the song What If speaks to that, don't let moments pass by and then, you think, oh man, what if I had taken that chance? Our training note from Coach Sean, and I've actually never done this. I know that my stepkids do these a lot, but I don't think I've really ever done one. It's a progression run. Progression runs are fantastic workouts. They entail running each successive mile faster than the one before. If you are slowing down at the end of an easy long run, or your interval pace tails off during the last half, it means you started the workout too fast. I do that a lot. So I might have to try that, a progression run. I know, like I said, my stepkids do them as part of their weekly workouts. So what I take home from this particular one is the comforter part. And shelter too, that God is our comforter and our shelter. And we just have to remember that it can be hard sometimes when you're going through a valley. But he really is always there with us. So hope everyone's having a great Friday morning, and I will see you back here for part 2 of day 27.